Ora viva, meus amigos, minhas amigas, estamos aqui de volta com mais um episódio de Vampyr. Então, no bom episódio anterior, não sei se vocês se lembram, a gente chegou aqui a Darius Patrescu, que é alguém que nós temos de investigar. Eu também já não me lembro bem porque é que é, acho que tem a ver com qualquer coisa do hospital. Entanto, temos de investigar este homem aqui. Entretanto, peço desculpa, umas atualizaçõezinhas. Eu fora do filmagens, né? Vim aqui a um hospital e tratei o máximo de gente que eu conseguia. Esta está constipada, este está constipado e este tem uma enxaqueca. Eu ainda não consegui fazer tratamentos para isto tudo. Entretanto, este aqui também já... Nervalgia ainda não consegui, pneumonia ainda não consegui. E fadiga ainda não consigo, ainda não tenho componentes para fazer. Embora já possa fazer a cura. Entretanto, temos de investigar aqui este tal Darius Patrescu, que está com uma pneumonia. Consegui.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
A resolução daquele avental está um bocado esquisita, meu. Ora bem.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Ok, então temos de falar com o jornalista ou com o poeta, que estão perto da igreja, onde a gente encontrou aquele padre que disse que a freira... Disse que as freiras são as únicas que têm autoridade para curar um homem. E entretanto este distrito está em modo grave, por isso já estão a ver aqui tipo cadáveres no meio do chão. Eu não tenho... Infelizmente acho que ainda não posso criar aqui nada para curar esta gente. Já agora, vamos lá ver o que é que eu posso fazer aqui. Ok. Está aqui. Isto é o que? Sepse, anemia. Só fazer aqui um. Pronto. Fadiga. Pois, o que é que me falta? Solução de hipoclorito de sódio. Bronquite. Opa, tenho já para a pneumonia. Então, preciso do potássio e do hipoclorito de sódio. Vamos lá ver o que é que aquela vendedora de rua tem.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Somos todos menos colegas.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Quem és tu?
How are you, Mr. Palmer?
Ah, o Sr.
You
Palmer.
seem better?
They killed Albert, you know? Fucking wet boys.
I see.
I should have looked after my Albie better. But the wet boys will pay. I swear they will pay.
Fixe. Tem feito esta morte de Albert.
What are you doing now that Albert is dead?
One thing I learned from my time in France is how to kill. Now I'm going to war for myself.
O que aconteceu com você na guerra?
I served in France too. Tell me about the war, Benjamin. Tell me what happened to you.
It was hell, Doctor. Pure and simple. The terror. Shouting. Screaming and death. How was yours?
Tentei salvar vidas.
I tried to expand my knowledge to save lives. But sometimes that can lead to terrible mistakes.
Oh yeah, science can make mistakes for sure. They said I was a coward. Then they sent me back to the front with a box of pills.
Take care. Goodbye for now.
Isto dá jeito para fazer as curas.
Time will come when you will all be judged for your
Serás tu, Clayton?
Even now,
Excuse me,
he's
sir.
judged-
Are you familiar
Jenny.
with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Bem, primeiro check-up.
Do you
vá.
need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
O que é que eu lhe posso dar?
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Tratamento para a fadiga. Perguntas pessoais? Não. Sem investigação em Londres. Nenhum emprego aqui para imigrantes por aqui. Nenhum emprego para imigrantes por aqui?
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Olha que a mudança nem sempre é para melhor, mas é preciso ter cuidado. Estamos aqui à noite. Você não tem medo de sair à noite?
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Existe uma explicação racional.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Nenhum jornal fala sobre a epidemia?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Isso é crime!
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
O que está fazendo aqui à noite? Ele já disse, é um repórter. Sobre um ambulatório subterrâneo.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Conheço uma enfermeira corrupta.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Nenhum parente?
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Ele nunca sai?
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Ora bem, então temos de ir aqui atrás da igreja porque está lá o nosso amigo poeta, né? Vamos lá ver se a gente o encontra. Aqui o nosso poeta do karaoke. E quem se lembrar desta música é um gênio. O que é isto aqui? Buquê de flores. Um pequeno buquê com um vale médico para uma consulta grátis e escondido nas flores. Se estiveres doente, não tiveres dinheiro, quem quer que sejas, de onde quer que sejas, vem ver Dorothea para conseguires ajuda. Oi?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. but I mean you no harm, truly. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Goodbye then.
O que é que está aqui? Ah, é quarentena. Já agora uma pequena curiosidade. Influenza é o nome completo do vírus da gripe. Influenza.
I cannot enter.
Ok, por este lado não dá para entrar. E se a gente tentar passar por dentro da igreja? Embora um vampiro entrar dentro de uma igreja seja uma coisa um bocado estranha. Eu acho que eles nem sequer podem. Não sei se dá ou não. Senão temos de arranjar a maneira de ir à volta. Lá! Filho! Anda! Falhaste? Oi. Vem cá! Au! Não me toques! Não me toques! Anda cá! Filhos da mãe têm energia para caraças! Falhaste? Ótimo! Tu! Anda! Falhaste! Anda cá! Oi? Falharam. Ah! Ainda me apanhaste. Anda cá. Polícia. Sai daqui. Sai. Aham. Tu também? Isto é salta. Isso mesmo. Toma! Ah, foste. Filhos da mãe. Quarentena, gripe, não se aproxime desta área por ordem da Secretária da Saúde, oficial sanitário. Ok, tradução um bocado mal feita, mas pronto, é o que é. Encontre Richard na região. Ora bem, se ele está atrás da igreja, deve estar aqui pelo mortuário, não? Serás tu, Richard?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Encontramos o poeta. Porque se inspiraram em Whitechapel, já agora.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Exemplos?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Não acham tanto mórbido, não. Se ele está a fazer isto é porque não acha. A florista muda faz parte de conluio.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Ok, então sobre Dorothy Crane.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
Vamos lá ver?
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Ora bem, contra a caixa de correio. Pois, ele falou-nos também numa caixa... O repórter falou-nos na tal caixa de correio, né? Que o outro tinha... Posto lá uma carta, ou queria supostamente pôr uma carta e rasgou-a. Se o exército precisa de você, ele diz-se imediatamente. Ok. Isto é a propaganda.
Hello again, miss.
Isto é a muda, supostamente.
Very well. Goodbye, then.
Está aqui uma caixa de correio. Minhas queridas e amadas crianças, lamento não ter dado notícias por alguns meses. A situação em Londres está complicada. Eu sei que parece egoísmo e tolice enquanto vocês, minhas crianças, ainda vivem num país consumido pela guerra. Mas também há uma guerra em andamento aqui na Inglaterra. Uma guerra contra a pobreza e contra a injustiça. Esta é uma guerra da qual pretendo participar, apesar da minha idade avançada. É por isso que escrevo a vocês hoje. Não voltarei para a Roménia. Isso significa que, provavelmente, não vos verei novamente antes de morrer. Não fiquem tristes, minhas queridas crianças. Agora, vocês já cresceram e têm suas próprias crianças. Vocês conhecem o sacrifício que às vezes precisamos de aceitar para tornar o mundo um lugar melhor. Perdão. E é isso que farei agora para me sentir útil uma última vez. Desejo a vocês uma vida longa e feliz. Beijem meus netos por mim e lembrem-se de que o seu pai ama vocês, mesmo estando num país distante e frio.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Então bora. Não, aquele pode morrer à vontade, não gosto daquele gajo. É assim, para estes problemas de geometria.
Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Enfeitiçar nível 2. Vamos ter uma conversa de homem para homem.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
É, na boa, meu. Eu só preciso de falar com ela. Casa de Darius Petrescu.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Oh, fixe, o gajo tem uma gráfica.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Caludo.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Muitas pessoas. Como você conheceu.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I shared many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Conte-me sobre o seu passado político.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Ainda tem família?
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Sair da Inglaterra depois da guerra?
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Ok. Vamos falar aqui com a nossa amiga Dorothy Crane. Ele disse para irmos por aqui e subir as escadas. Então onde é que ela está? Está ali em cima. Ok. Então onde é que estão as escadas? Ah, é por aqui. Ainda bem, isto é grave aqui. Esses não falam. Essência de cravo da Índia. Fixe. É, aquele gajo está... E a codina, meu. Yes! Carta para enfermeira Crane. Oi, não é aqui. Onde é que isto se vê? Oi? Ok. Ok, estes dois já estão... Estes três já estão a recuperar, fixe. Onde é que se via? Onde é que se via a grande caçada? Não. Não, isto é colecionáveis. Enxaqueca. Este aqui o que é que ele precisa? Constipação. Ok. Ok, depois vejo isto. Assim fora da gravação. Fiz frasco de vidro e tártaro. Vamos aqui subir. E o Patrescu que ainda está ali. Caixa de pílulas. Uou, o que é que se passa, filho?
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
É porque não é gripe, filho.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
Algum tipo de anestesia, preciso fazer uma trabalho.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor.
Ainda bem que eles não estão a mostrar aqui a cirurgia.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Não faz mal.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
Amiga, desinfeta isso, caraças. Despejas álcool ou vodka ou qualquer coisa assim para desinfetares a ferida. E o equipamento.
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see.
Calma. Respira fundo. Preciso suturar a artéria.
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Exatamente.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Relaxa, mulher. Reanimamos com cara da respiração. Epifrina. É melhor isto.
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
Acho que a cardiorrespiração não ia fazer nada. Isto é melhor. Por favor, sobrevive. Sobrevive. Estás vivo? Ah! Morreste!
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for
Paragem,
analysis.
coisa cardiovascular não ia fazer nada, de qualquer maneira. A massagem cardiovascular não ia fazer nada.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners.
Porra!
Do I owe this courtesy?
Deixamos morrer o paciente.
It's locked.
Está trancado. Ah! Filho da mãe, mas acho que ele estava destinado a morrer de qualquer maneira.
This... I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Vim dar fim às chantagens, você não pode continuar a fazer isto, isto é legal.
The risks you've taken for your friends in Whitechapel are criminal, and you can pay dearly for them.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Ok, porque Lady Ashbury?
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs. and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Damn. Não confio no Dr. Swansea.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Crane. Estás a
You've
passar das
convinced
marcas.
me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Abraçar você acaba com isso. Oh, não, isto é para abraçar, entre aspas, se é que percebem. Poupar ou ignoro isto, mas você se demite.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes,
Gostou, mas foi, puxa.
all gone.
Estava difícil. Novos cidadãos disponíveis para matar. O distrito sofrerá com as consequências da sua ação.
It's locked, all right.
Não sei se foi a melhor cena, mas ela estava a ser... Pá, a chantagem, não gosto muito de chantagem, mas mais vale a pessoa ser honesta. Uou! Uou! Filho da mãe, anda cá! Anda cá! Isso é assim? Entrou aqui a matar, é? Calado! Aham! Calou! Calado! Anda! Anda, filho! Aham! Caluda! Componente comum de gatilho. Mais um, fixe. Ok, tenho de informar agora a Dona Ashbury. Mas não vai ser neste episódio. Neste episódio a única coisa que nós vamos fazer para já vai ser chegar aqui ao refúgio para a gente gravar. Ele já está ali marcado. O que é que foi, bacana? Au! Anda cá, filho. É, não me confundas com o verme, então. Eu sou um bocadinho mais bonito que um verme. Anda cá! Pronto, o mais complicado já foi. Vai calado. Aham. Anda, filho. Tu já eras. Aham. Então, anda. Ui! Tu falhaste. Anda cá. Aham, é isso. Ora bem, esta correu lindamente, meu. Esta correu lindamente, pá. Estou orgulhoso de mim mesmo. Esta correu lindamente. Acho que não vai dar.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in.
Acho que já curei este. Já lhe dei o tratamento, já. Já agora. Uma caixa grande de comprimidos. 5 slings. Este não está doente. 5 slings. Ok.
It's locked.
Ok, está trancado. As antigas criaturas. Vraikolacas. Jornadas pelo mundo, acredito. Podem ler, né? Basta porem ali um bocadinho na pausa. Garrafa de gin barato. Whitechapel. E aquele está só da vilinho. Onde é que está o meu esconderijo? Onde estás tu? É que eles ainda continuam a dizer a mesma coisa, puxa. Oh, está lá em cima. Ora, aí está. Bem, temos 2000 de experiência, meu. Vamos aqui só preencher tudo. Não dá para preencher mais nada. Vamos cá ver o que é que a gente pode. Fabricamentos. Dá para fazer isto. Fadiga. Criar duas. Resfriado. Pneumonia. Ótimo. Dá para fazer mais uma destas. Dá. Esta já não posso. Isto é o que? Bronquite. Já não posso. Ótimo. Dá para fazer isto. Ah, pois é sangue. Hã? Soro de sangue fraco. Tinha aqui qualquer cena para analisar. Reciclar. Isto é fixe. Isto é fixe. Frasco de vidro. Não. Tinha aqui qualquer cena para analisar. Já não me lembro o que é que era. Soro de sangue fraco. Não. Bem.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Ora bem, eu estava aqui a curar o pessoal, não é? No hospital de Pembroke. E sem querer aproximei-me da tenda. Não sabia que se aproximando a pessoa... a história continuava em si. Pronto, então basicamente o que é o Reed entra na tenda, abre a tenda e vê aqui a nossa amiga Lady Ashbury com os dentes cravados naquele rapaz ali.
What prevails in the end, I wonder? The desire for blood, or to be of service to man?
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter, his cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
Ok, já agora. Foge a minha mente.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
Porque seria considerado ofensivo.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Não, obviamente que não.
Excuse my forwardness, but... are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
Oh, isto é uma boa pergunta.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Poderia ter sido acidente?
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our... hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain. More than likely, it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
Não te preocupes, eu ainda não tenho tido problemas com eles.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad?
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
I bid you farewell, for now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Pronto, então este foi o pequeno diálogo, né? Com a dona Ashbury. Infelizmente cometi este errozinho, mas pronto, espero que tenham gostado do episódio, né? E já sabem, dê uma dentadinha no botão de gosto, uma dentadinha no subscrever e eu vejo-vos então no próximo vídeo.